Hey guys, and welcome to the Mixtank Toolbox. Today I'm going to show you 3 really good compressors, ranging from something that you might already have in your DAW right through to something that's a little bit expensive if you want to treat yourself, but it's really, really good. So let's get stuck in. First up, I'm going to show you one of my favourite compressors which you'll find in Ableton. It's called the Glue Compressor. Now this was developed in conjunction with a company called Cytomic, which also made the famous The Glue. Now that's a really cool plugin that's good to use, and it emulates the SSL but with a lot more versatility, and you can do a lot of really cool things with it. But what they've done is they've taken the core of that and they've integrated it into the Glue Compressor, which is in Ableton, and it's really, really cool. So let's take a look. So in the Glue Compressor you can see you have the famous settings which you'll see on the original SSL compressor. You've got a couple of extra features on here, and one of them that's really cool is this function to soft clip things. Now if you've seen things like there's various soft clipping plugins like the Oxford Inflator, where if you turn clip on, what you can do is push it to 0 dB, and anything that goes above 0, it just shaves the top off it to the point of digital distortion. Now if you do this a little bit on sounds, you can get really big crunchy sounds, and this works well on your drums, it works well on other elements of your tracks, and it also works great in mastering, but you have to be really, really careful with this because you can totally destroy it. So let's check it out, see what it sounds like. Turn the soft clip off. Now you'll see if I turn the makeup up, this is just going above 0 and it's just actually distorting the compressor. But if we turn that down and we put the soft clipper on, you can see that it gives you a real crispy bite in your top ends and everything else, which makes it sound really, really big. So that's compressor number 1, the Glue Compressor, already built into Ableton. Compressor number 2 that I'm going to show you is one that's built into Logic, and it's Logic's own compressor. Now this is fantastic because it actually emulates 7 different compressors. So if you take a look in here, you've got the Platinum Digital, which is a super clean, super modern compressor. You've got the Studio VCA, the Studio FET, the Classic VCA, and you've even got some really gritty vintage options in there, such as the Vintage VCA, the Vintage FET, and the Vintage Opto. Now, just like the one in Ableton, you've also got the distortion setting here, so you can have soft, hard, or clip, but you've also got a limiter built in. So if you really want to push the compression on your drums, you can limit them just to stop them going over 0. Another cool function about this one is you've got the sidechain feature up here. So if you want to use this to sidechain your bass against your drums, you can do it in the traditional way, but it's also got a sidechain filter on here as well. So you can select whatever frequencies are going to trigger that compressor. So if you've got a loop, but you just want the bass of the kick drum to trigger that sidechain, you can just adjust the frequencies of where it's going to compress from. So let's take a listen to this, and I'm just going to flick through the different settings so you can hear the character of each one. Now some of them have got really big differences, some of them are very subtle, and obviously depending on how the compressor behaves depends how much input gain you have to push into the compressor. But you'll find that some of these are better for different things, and it's a really cool tool set. Like for example, the Studio FET sounded really beefy on the drums then, whereas you might find one of the vintage ones would sound better once you put some guitars through it, or some leads through it, or vocals. But the best way to work this out is if you just check some of the user presets that are built into this, because at the end of the day, these were built by top producers who obviously know a lot more than me and you do. So check these out and have a play with it. Like, this is one of the most versatile compressors I've ever used, and it is definitely at the top of my list. Now, compressor number 3 that we're going to look at is the Empirical Labs Al8 Distressor. Now, this is the UAD model of it. There is a couple more models of it out there, but if you do use UAD hardware and you've got a little bit of money saved up, you should treat yourself to this one because this is a really, really good plugin. Now, the Distressor is famous for its ratio, as it has a nuke setting on there, and basically when you turn nuke on, it's 1,000:1 ratio compression, so it's pretty much limiting everything, but you get this really saturated big sound from it. Another cool thing with this is if you turn your attack to 10, it actually emulates an opto compressor. So an opto compressor is a really colourful compressor, but I'm not going to go into how that works today. So let's take a listen to how this bad boy sounds. Now with all of these, I've gone over the top with it. I've applied a little bit too much, but sometimes that's the effect you want. And if you want something that's going to give you saturation with a couple of extra cool features on there, this is the one for you. Now there you have it. There's 3 really good compressors that you should get out there and check out yourselves. Now there's tons of compressors out there. I'm not saying these are the best 3 in the world, but these are 3 really good ones that are definitely worth checking out. Don't forget to head to mixtank.tv where you can check out a series of masterclasses from your favourite artists showing you how they make their music, with also loads of free content from them and free videos from myself. That's mixtank.tv. I'll catch you soon.